Good morning, dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to invite you all for this PUC 1 bridge course. Actually, every year by this time, all educational institutes, they used to flourish with academic activities. But unfortunately, this year, due to this COVID pandemic, the academic activity in the educational institutes not yet started. However, first of all, I congratulate you for successfully completing your SSLC board examination and securing good percentage of marks. And also, I invite you all for this Pramana PU Science College. As you all aware, this is one of the reputed colleges in this Gulbarga division, and this institute has been successfully running for the last 11 years, and every year we are getting good results with cooperation from students as well as parents and staff. So this is the beginning of another academic year, that is 2021. So we have taken admission in our institution, and I would like to introduce myself as Srinivas, senior faculty in physics. I have been teaching physics for PU students for the last 30 years. And apart from myself, there are another 2-3 staff members in physics faculty in our college. And further, after completion of SSLC, you have various avenues of study like pre-university commerce, arts, education, diploma courses, and so many courses are there. In spite of all those things, you opted for PU Science. I hope the basic reason behind taking PU Science will be to enter into some professional college. Usually, whenever a new batch starts, in every class, when I ask students why you opted for science, usually 60% of the students, they say they want to become doctors. Remaining 30% students say they want to become engineers, and 10% students say they want to go for Ayurvedic, agricultural BSc, BSc Science, veterinary science, like that. So, majority of the students opt for science with an intention to become either doctors or engineers, that means professional courses. So, to enter into a professional college, you need to put a lot of hard work. So, you need to spend much of your time with books rather than enjoying with your friends or with mobile or TV. So, science students must be dedicated, then only they can reach their goal in their life. So, I hope you have that attitude with you. If you have that determination, then it is not at all difficult to reach your goals. And also, for a science student, to reach your goal, there are various options. Say, for example, if you want to become an engineer, where you want to get engineering seat, either in IITs or NITs. So, what are the various options you have? So, first, in the very first class, I will explain those things. You see, we are not going to start your actual syllabus at once. We will run this bridge course for a few weeks. Actually, online classes are no way substitute to regular classroom teaching. Regular classroom teaching is alive. And this online class, it becomes a one way of just a single way of learning. For the past 6 months, you have been at home, sitting idly, and again with an intention to get you back into the academic stream, we just started this online classes for PUC 1 students. So for about a week or 10 days, we will run these bridge courses. That means just we will revise what are the things you learned at school level. After that, we shall start your regular academic work. So as per the Government of Karnataka instructions, your regular college classes are expected to start maybe in the last week of September or first week of October. So by that time, you should follow these online lectures every day, and you should brush up the things what you learnt past, and you should get ready yourself for the new academic program, that is pre-university course. So this pre-university course, it offers you wide range of courses. PUC Science, it offers you varieties of courses, and no course is inferior or no course is superior. Only thing is, in whichever course you have interest, you have to become thorough in that. Understand? So, in the course of your interest, you have to develop skills, and also thereby you can get good marks, and thereby you can get good rankings. You will get into a good professional college, and then ultimately you are going to have a bright future. So, developing skills is very, very important at PU level. And these skills help you to reach your goal. So here, first I will explain you what are the various options you have by the time you complete your pre-university science course. Here I have shown a simple table. Just I will briefly explain this. Then you will come to know what are the various options for you to reach your goal. See here, at the end of this pre-university science course, you have to appear for two different types of examination. One is board exam, another one various competitive examinations. So this board examination is similar to your SSLC board examination, and I will explain you the pattern of this board examination in the next class. So at the end of this PUC science, you have to appear for two different types of examinations like this. On the basis of this board examination result, you can take a BSc admission, BSc Science admission in any college. Next, if you want to enter into a professional course, then ultimately, in addition to this pre-university board examination, you should also appear for various competitive examinations. I mean, the result of a board examination is equally important with that of these competitive results of competitive examinations. In some case, this is more important than this one. See, at the end of PUC second year, majority of the students, they write these three examinations. Apart from these three, there are so many other examinations also. Apart from these three competitive examinations, that is JEE Mains, NEET and KSET examination, there are so many other competitive examinations also. But a majority, I am talking about majority of the students appear for these three examinations. And those who have specific interests, they will appear for other examinations also. So, here this JEE examination, that is called Joint Entrance Examination, it is conducted by NTA, National Testing Agency. So, those who appear for this JEE examination, they can join this BTech or BE, Bachelor in Architecture and Bachelor in Planning. So, those who want to join for this technical courses, architecture and planning, they need to appear for this JEE examination. Every year, almost 12 lakh students all over India appear for this examination. This examination will be held twice. I mean, this JEE examination has two parts, JEE Mains and JEE Advanced. So 12 lakh students all over India appear for this examination. Only the top 2 lakh students are eligible to appear for this JEE Advanced. Among the 12 lakh students appear for JEE, the top 2 lakh students are eligible to appear for JEE Advanced examination. So, first you have to appear for this JEE Mains examination. If you fall in the top 2 lakh students, then you are eligible for this JEE Advanced examination. So, this JEE Mains examination, it will be conducted twice in a year. Once in December of every year, another examination will be April of the next year. So, yearly it will be conducted twice. And students can write both examinations. Wherever he scores more marks, those marks will be considered for giving ranking. So, this JEE Mains examination paper, you have questions from PCM, Physics, Chemistry and Maths. Each subject has 20 plus 5, 25 questions. Each subject has got 25 questions, 20 multiple choice questions, and 5 questions are numerical. Answers will be in the form of numbers. So, totally 25 questions will be there in each subject. So, these 25 questions, for each question, for each correct answer you will get 4 marks, and for each wrong answer -1 mark will be deducted. So, In each subject 25 questions will be there, and in 3 subjects totally 75 questions will be there. Each question carries 4 marks, so this is for 300 marks. JEE mains examination, it will be for 300 marks. And further, to qualify in this JEE mains examination, in the board examination, in this pre-university board examination, ultimately you need to score 75 marks, 75% of marks. So if you fail to score 75% of marks in the board examination, you are not qualified in this JEE. So in the board examination, you should get 75% minimum. And in this PCM, this paper 1 is exclusively for this B and BTech. This is paper 1. So in paper 1, it is for 300 marks. Similarly, those who wish to appear for this B architecture, they have to appear paper 2 also. Paper 2. This paper 2 consists of mathematics, general aptitude and drawing. There will be 25 questions from mathematics, 50 questions from general aptitude and 2 questions from drawing. Totally 77 questions will be there. For these 77 questions, there will be 400 marks. So those who wish to appear for just engineering, paper 1 is enough. If you want to appear for architecture also, you have to write paper 2. Similarly, planning, bachelor in planning. This is also paper 3. Those who wish to appear for this planning, they need to write this paper 3 examination also. So this is the pattern of question paper for this JEE mains. This one. For this JEE mains, this is the pattern of question paper. Next, based on your JEE result, you will be given rankings, All India ranking. Based on those rankings, this central selection board, they allot seats in various institutes like this. So based on this JEE ranking, you can claim seats in NITs, CFTIs and IIITs. In India, there are 31 NITs, that means National Institute of Technologies. These 31 NITs, they offer around 22,000 engineering seats all over India. Next, we have 20 central funded technical institutes, CFTIs, sometimes they are also called as GFTIs, government funded technical institutes. Among out of these 20 CFTIs, there are 4,000 engineering seats are there. Other than this, you have 25 IIITs. IIIT means Indian Institute of Information Technology. So there are 25 IIITs. Out of this 25, 18 are under PPP. That means public-private partnership. So out of this 25, 18 are under PPP and remaining 7 are run by government. So totally 25 IIITs are there. They offer nearly 3,500 engineering seats. So all these seats in all these government institutions, central government institutions, all these seats are allotted on the basis of this JEE mains ranking only. If you look at this, hardly 30,000 seats are there. That means if you want to get admission in these central government technical institutions, your JEE mains ranking should be less than 30,000. Understand? And also, the top 2 lakh students from the mains, they are eligible to appear for this JEE Advanced. JEE Advanced. So you have these IITs in India. There are 32 IITs in India, Indian Institute of Technologies. These 32 IITs, they are offering 11,300 seats in engineering. If you want to get admission in them, you need to appear for this JEE Advanced, and you should score a ranking which is less than 11,300 roughly. That means out of these 2 lakh students appear for JEE Advanced, only 11,300 students, they get admission in IITs. And also, based on this JEE Advanced results, some seats are offered in IISERs. This is Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research. They are central government run institutions. There are 7 IISERs in India. These IISERs, they are not technical institutions. They offer science, education and research. These IISERs, they take admissions. In these 7 IISERs, only 1300 seats are there. So they take admission on the basis of JEE Advanced ranking. Some admissions are allotted on the basis of JEE Advanced ranking. Some admissions are given on the basis of this KVPY ranking. That is Kishore Vignan Protsahan Yojana. This is an examination conducted by KVPY every year in the month of September or October. So students can appear for this examination and they get ranking. So based on the marks in this ranking on this KVPY examination, some seats are allotted in IISERs. Apart from this, some admissions are also taken on the basis of state central board results. That means if you are one in top 10% of your state board examination, only those students are eligible to appear for a competitive examinations. In Karnataka, it is run by IISc, Indian Institute of Science. So those who got selected in this SCB, some of them, they also get admission in IISERs. So this IISER, they offer a 5-year MS course, Master in Science, not engineering, Master in Science. So if you get admission in IISER, you need not have to pay a single pie for your course. Your course fee, your lodging, boarding, everything will be borne by the government of India. Apart from that, you will be given 80,000 rupees scholarship towards books. So that facility is there in IISER. So these IISER admissions, some of them will be allotted on the basis of this JEE Advanced ranking. So all these examinations, they are conducted by NTA, National Testing Agency, and this is the examination for IITs, and this is the examination for NITs, CFTI and IITs. In Karnataka, we have one NIT, National Institute of Technology, that is Surathkal. So you just imagine the number of seats available and the number of students appearing for the examination. So if you want to get admission in these institutions, you should be at the top level. That means you have to rise to that level. Understand? Throughout India, science syllabus is same. Our pre-university board, it has adopted CBSE syllabus. So throughout India, syllabus is same. So with your hard work, if you rise to that level, definitely you can get admission in these top institutes of India. So this is about this examination. Next, coming to NEET. See, whoever want to become a doctor, he or she has to write this NEET examination. And there is one more examination called AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. AIMS, admissions in all AIMS, they will be given through a different examination. But apart from AIMS, admission in all medical colleges, it will be done on the basis of this NEET ranking only. So here, for admission to MBBS as well as BDS, you need to qualify this NEET. In this NEET examination, you have 45 questions from physics, 45 questions from chemistry, 90 questions from biology. Totally 180 questions will be there. Each question carries 4 marks. That means this NEET examination will be for 760 marks. For each correct answer, you will get 4 marks. For each wrong answer, negative marking will be there, 1 mark will be deducted. So this is the examination pattern for NEET. Understand? Here you have only 75 questions in each, 75 questions in all. In a JEE examination, you have only 75 questions in all, but whereas in NEET examination, 180 questions will be there. So paper will be for 760 marks. And both these examinations, they will be for 3 hours duration. This is for 3 hours and this is also for 3 hours only. But the standard of questions, here it will be higher, because for 75 questions you will be given 3 hours. So a bit higher standard questions will be asked in JEE. Here, in same 3 hours, as you need to solve 180 questions, the standard of questions will be less compared to that of JEE examination in this NEET. In physics and chemistry, the standard of questions will be a bit low compared to this JEE mains, because you need to solve more number of problems in the same time, 3 hours. So around 16 lakh students appear for this NEET examination all over India. 16 lakhs. Only 532 medical colleges are there in India. These 532 medical colleges, they offer only 77,000 seats. Now you can compare how many students appear, how many students get seats. Out of these 16 lakhs, only 77,000 students can get medical seats or dental seats. That means obviously the competition will be stiff. When you rise to that level by yourself to get good marks, then only you can expect a medical ranking. As far as Karnataka is concerned, Karnataka is one state which has got maximum number of medical colleges in India. So in Karnataka, we have maximum medical colleges and also maximum medical seats also. We have around 8,000. We have around 8,000 medical seats and around 3,000 dental seats. So this 8,000 includes all India quota also. What I mean to say is, in all government colleges in Karnataka, 15% of the seats they will be allotted for all India quota. Only 85% seats will be allotted for state quota. So all India quota, state quota put together, this is 8,000. So this is about this NEET examination. Next, other than this NEET examination, the students also opt for this KCET examination. This KCET examination is exclusively for students of Karnataka. On the this nearly 2 lakh students from Karnataka appear for this examination. And on the basis of these KSET results, different rankings will be allotted in different courses. See, admission into Karnataka engineering colleges and this Ayurvedic, homeopathy, Unani colleges, agricultural sciences, veterinary science, B Pharm, D Pharm, all these admissions are done on the basis of this KSET result. Understand? So when you appear for this KSET examination, ranking will be given in each course like this. So this is Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yoga Sciences, and this is Agricultural BSc, and also Home Science, Horticulture, everything comes under here only. Home Science and then Food Science, all these subjects, they come under AGBSc only. Next, Veterinary Science, B Pharmacy as well as D Pharmacy. For all these courses, appearing KSET examination is compulsory. So, here in Karnataka, we have nearly 220 engineering colleges, more than 220 engineering colleges. Bangalore itself has almost 110 engineering colleges, Bangalore surroundings. It has got around 110 engineering colleges, and all these colleges are offering more than 65,000 seats. And sometimes some of the seats they fall vacant, they won't get any admission. There are some top engineering colleges in Karnataka like RV, PES, BMS, MSRIT, BIT, like that DCE. Some top engineering colleges are there, and you can get admission in those engineering colleges provided you get good ranking less than 5,000 or even 1,000. So up to 3,000-4,000 ranking you will get some good engineering colleges, top 10 colleges in Karnataka. Beyond that, all colleges are almost the same. So if you want to get admission in good engineering college in Karnataka, ultimately you have to get a ranking less than 2,000 or at the top range it is 5,000, not more than that. And those who don't want to go for engineering and they want to opt for other courses, these are the options. As far as this AGBSc is concerned, Agricultural BSc is concerned, 40% quota will be allotted for children of farmers. There is some agricultural quota. That means if your parents own land, you can claim a seat under that quota. So in this AGBSc, apart from regular roster, 40% of seats are allotted for agricultural quota, that means children of farmers. So you opted for science. Now you think of where you want to stand. If you want to become an engineer, whether you want to become engineer in these institutions, or in these institutions. See, if you get a seat in these institutions, your future is assured. Your future is assured. That is, before you complete your course, you will be hired by companies, and by means of your hard work, you can reach to the level of a CEO of big companies. Understand? So, just before completion of course, you will be hired. Even here also, if you get a seat in top 5 or 10 engineering colleges in Karnataka, then also you will get jobs in local companies. If you get 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 ranking and you join for engineering some college and you finish your engineering, then you have to search for your job. Sometimes you may not get a job, proper job. So, if you want to have a bright future, ultimately you need to work hard. You need to work hard and you should be placed somewhere here. That should be the aim of every science student, to get into a renowned professional college. Understand? So, keeping that as aim, you work hard, we will be there with you, your parents will be there with you to support you all the time, and with your own efforts, you can get admission in these courses. See, if you really mind, it is not impossible. There are so many students from our college who have taken admission in renowned institutes. Some of them, they are well placed in big companies. Tomorrow, you could also be one among them. So, I wish you all the best. With this little introduction, in the next class tomorrow, I will just explain the various concepts. I mean, what are the concepts which are there in your PU syllabus in physics. And further, in all these examinations, whole PUC 1 and PUC 2 syllabus will be there. I remind you, in all these examinations, so PUC 1 and PUC 2 syllabus will be there. That is why I told you PUC course, not first year, second year. Don't think that PUC 1 and PUC 2 are independent. They are not so. 2-year course it is. So, in all these examinations, questions will be there from PU1 and PU2 syllabus. That means PUC course. Only in the KCET examination, only in our state examination, 75% of the questions will come from first year syllabus and remaining 25% will come from, 75% questions come from second year syllabus and 25% questions come from this first year syllabus. So, here equal importance will be there for first and second year. Here weightage will be 75% for second year and 25% for first year. You will come to know about these things further. So, let us stop this lecture at this stage and we shall continue from here in the next class.